Hey guys, Soul Eater this league has been nerfed and it made me very sad because Soul Eater builds with the Soulfast belt was one of the most fun experience I ever had in Path of Exile. I even have the whole YouTube playlist with the Soul Eater builds. Like I said, it has been nerfed and I kind of wanted to sort of remake that kind of feel. So I'm going in this build, I'm going with the double strike of momentum, which gives up to 140% more attack speed with 10 stacks, but you have to be standing still. On top of that, this is also Berserker with the blitz charges, with the triple rage node, and also with the soul ascension gloves, and in general just going mad speed. Now the build is not in practice, I guess, the most efficient thing, and this is like a Berserker, so Berserker's whole identity is just speed, DPS, and then randomly dying to some random things. Also, you may have noticed that the PoE content has slowed down. I'm not really posting as many videos. I'm just kind of bored of this league. This league is one of the worst leagues in 12 years, in my opinion, other than Harbinger League. So I don't really have much desire to play this league anymore. I will do at least one more build, but afterwards we'll see. There are some other games that I want to play, so this may be one of the last builds that I do this league. So other than speed, what else does this build have? Well, I got 1.7k DPS, Banishing Blade, and the Banishing Blade is the highest special experimental weapon. I bought this for 7 divines. It was already with the Fate Equality and 6 link for 7 divines. Now the thing is, Rakiata's Dance Sword almost gets close to this weapon. 1.7k DPS on this sword, and it gets almost beaten by a unique that costs like 50k. However, with Rakiata's Dance it's a bit different playstyle because you can still benefit from penetration. With this sword, attack critical strikes ignore enemy monster elemental resistances. So this is the same as Inquisitor's Ignore. So you cannot really benefit from penetration either, which does have fewer options to scale its damage. But like I said, this is 1.7k DPS weapon. So the idea is also to just go very high crit chance. In fact, I am reaching 95% crit chance even with the blitz charges. Also, I'm not even using Berserk skill because I'm not sure when would I actually use it. I don't have very good generation of rage, and this build, while on paper it can have like over 10 million DPS, and by the way, this is not fully optimized. Like I said, I don't have much desire to play PvE, so I just kind of try the build, get the experience that I am looking for, and I'm done with the build. So on paper it has like 10 million DPS with everything maxed out, but the thing is, you almost never have a chance to max out your Soul Eater stacks with the Soul Ascension gloves, because I have the +5 maximum eaten souls, so I can get 50 maximum souls, but that would take 25 seconds of non-stop attacking enemy to reach 50 souls. That pretty much never happens. Like, what enemy would survive for that long? If you have good DPS, the enemy is just gonna melt. And if you have bad DPS, well, it's gonna take a long time face tanking, pretty much face tanking and not moving in order to ramp up souls. So I think these Soul Ascension gloves, while the buff for them was good, I think they are still not really performing all that well. Maybe they should buff them once again, maybe make it eat souls every like 0.3 seconds. But as it is, the Soul Eater gloves are not that good. They can be useful, like even with 10 souls you're getting 50% increased attack speed, but you can get like 15% attack speed on normal gloves, I believe. Plus implicit, I believe, can get attack speed. There are many ways to get the attack speed, so I feel like these gloves in general are just not that good, especially for like general mapping, because again, if you got DPS you won't have time to ram souls against rares or uniques because you're just gonna kill them. Now what else am I using? I am using Blizzard Crown, the one that gives flat cold damage. I'm also using the Tides of Time because I pretty much need Bismuth Flask with additional elemental resistances, 100% uptime on that flask to be able to even cap my resistances. And in addition, I got Diamond Flask to help me reach 100% crit chance, Granite for some tankiness, and Quicksilver for more speed. And I'm not using Abysso, so yeah, this is a Berserker, but I don't have Aspect of Carnage node, which makes me take increased damage, and I don't have Abyssos. And I do have almost 20k armor, almost 100% uptime on that, so it's not the squishiest thing, but this is level 92 and I could get a bit higher level and get a bit more maximum life, but it actually felt kind of nice mapping with, and I did try a couple tier 17s. It just doesn't really do tier 17s very well. It's just too squishy, I think. I think the main problem for double strike is lack of reach. It's a strike skill, but unlike smite can actually reach pretty much full screen anywhere, almost anywhere on the screen. But double strike just does not reach anywhere. So in order to get extra strike range, I am using Ancestral Cry with the call to arms to automate it. The Ancestral Cry provides a buff which gives up to 0.6 meters melee strike range, but it does require enemies to be close by when it gets triggered. So sometimes it's useful, the other times it does nothing to me, and I don't have minimum power, so sometimes sadly it just literally goes off at the wrong time. I also do have Steel Skin with automation, Assassin's Mark with Mark on hit. I just wanted to automate as many things as possible, because when you're moving this quickly, and this build by the way survives with the 10% instant life leech and just leeching life very quickly and attacking this quickly, just there's a very small gap between your hits, so you're most likely just gonna heal back your life very quickly. Unless you meet enemies that disable your regen, cannot be leeched from the Divine Shrine, so you don't do damage, so you cannot leech, and that can also kill you. Then for the auras, I only have Determination, Precision, and Arctic Armor for extra tankiness. So damage wise you could definitely get more, but this is like triple elemental build. By the way, Trinity does work with this, and it does give decent damage. I am currently using Hypothermia, which isn't the most ideal support, but recoloring my current body armor was just too annoying. But like, what aura would you even use? Like haste, I guess, but getting a bit more increased attack speed is kind of irrelevant at this point. It can reach over 40 attacks per second. With Berserker it would be even over 50 attacks per second. And yes, you can actually reach that kind of attack speed with the multi-strike, because multi-strike counts as 3 hits into 1, so it kind of triples the attack and cast speed limit, well, attack speed limit. But normally there is an attack and cast speed limit of around, I think it was either 30, 32 or 33 attacks or cast per second normally, but with multi-strike you kind of triple that limit. So in theory you could get close to like 100 attacks per second, and with the All Soul Eater that was actually possible, but with the current Soul Eater Soul Ascension gloves, I think in general it's just not worth building around Solfa's belt now, because like it has a hard limit and you kind of have to invest quite a bit into Solfa's belt, and you cannot use the flash during its effect unless you don't mind losing Soul Eater. In that case, why even use it? So I feel like Solfa's belt really got cocked this league, and it needs to be buffed, reworked, or I don't know, it's just useless now. As for the passive skill tree, there's also a couple kind of techniques that I'm using here. I am using Forbidden Jewels. Why am I using them actually? Oh yeah, I'm stealing the Chieftains. I'm stealing Chieftains War's Herald node, which gives me Ancestral Call, level 30 Ancestral Call, but you have to use it in the body armor, which is kind of needed because I cannot really get +2 strike targets, because normally you would get +1 on the gloves and +1 on the attack mastery, but I can only get +1, and that would not be enough for clearing, so stealing that is kind of nice. And I'm also using Impossible Escape for Iron Grip to be able to reach, well, these life nodes if I leveled up more, and also getting maximum rage. But yeah, that kind of covers this build. Now the next build, I'm gonna be going with the build that I wanted to do since pretty much the start of the league. Tukohama's Vanguard Spectres, 8 of them, and we're gonna drop 2 Scorching Ray Totems. It's kind of a playstyle that I did long ago, and it actually performed pretty well against bosses. I'm not sure how it's gonna feel against, like, in general clearing now, and I think I'm gonna level a new character instead of reworking my Necromancer, because reworking a character feels kind of weird. You spend like a couple hours, rework it, and then you play for like a day, and it feels like, okay, the build is done. I'm not gonna be leveling anymore, so what is there to progress for? By the way, I will not be using a Manamu's Gaze because it's just way too expensive, like 25 divines, and the DPS increase is way too small for that kind of build. So it's probably not gonna be very like highly optimized build and not very good build in general, but it should actually be an interesting experience, and that's all I care about. So I think that's pretty much it for now. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.